Go.
Oh, hey, this is Koji on the Arizona Yu-Gi-Oh channel, and I'm gonna profile my Evilswarm deck.
Alright.
So play 2 Rescue Rabbit because it's Rabbit and it's a ridiculous card. And you play 3 Vanilla Guy, Heliotrope. He's good and he gets over Thunder King, even though my opponent has a Thunder King, I don't tend to draw him. And 3 Casters, because Caster tutors your Ophion plays. And then 3 Kirkion, because it's Kirkion and he's really good. And then I play 3 Thunderbirds and also 3 Mandragoras. These are the cards that a lot of people cut from the deck, but I think they're very good because like the more Evilswarms you have, the more likely you are to be able to make an XYZ play. And then Dark Arm is you can control your grave with Kirkion and Emerald, and like it's just a really good card in general to bait out bottomless and things like that. And then for spells, play Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Reborn, Book, and then Rhoda. These are all the one-ofs. Rhoda's really good, grabs Caster, and then I side Warrior Lady as well. And then play 2 MSTs. Like a lot of meta decks don't play this, but like hitting that one important back row is just really good to make sure Ophion gets through. And then to protect Ophion, I play 3 Dress because I don't play Safe Zone. I just don't really like Safe Zone, and when you're playing a deck where when you search for Pandemic, they're not going to want to blindly space. And so they're going to hold on to their spaces. And so when you activate Safe Zone, they're just going to space it, and that'll be the end of Ophion if you don't have a Pandemic. Which most times you do, but... and then 3 Pandemic, like this is really good, and I wouldn't cut it because like the searchability is good, deck hitting's good, and like, there's a lot of like random decks at locals playing like bottomless and compulse. Everybody's playing triple compulse now. And then play 1 Infection because this card is really good and it lets you play really passively because you can just like leave your monsters out and then bounce it back on their turn, do broken things with that. And then the Solemns because I need to stop big monsters from being summoned. Soft Maestroke and those, and really breaks up their plays. And then Double Compulse because anything that's a threat to Ophion is usually like an XYZ, and it's a good answer to an on-board Dragosack. 2 Bottomless. It's good against Rogue. It's good against Dragons. A lot of decks really. So it's important to have something to move their cards out of the way. I play 2 Tarantulas because you're not always going to open up optimally, and in the times that you don't open up optimally, you have to have something to even out the game state, and this lets you do that really well. And then for extra deck, there's a Spore. Yes, I did. Play 3 Ophion. You want to play 3 always because you're always going to want to make the 3rd one to stop their special summons. And then 2 Bahamut. A lot of people cut this card because they say, well, I'll never go into 2 Bahamut. And it is kind of rare that you go into 2 Bahamut, but when you have that 2nd Bahamut, it's really just a blowout. And then play Nightmare because he's really good in the mirror and he's really good against decks that summon a lot. He's a decent turn 1 play because not a lot of normal summons can get over him, and if it's a special, he just stops it. Ouroboros, because he just does like really good things for you. He just moves stuff out of the way. And then 1 Thanatos, because you need him against like Fire Fist and random decks like that. That'll just eat you alive. I guess Emerald lets you recycle, and it's a like all around good card. And then play Black Ship because it gets around things like Zen Mains and walls like Reaper, which is good. And then play Cowboy because he'll randomly let you go for a game, and it's Cowboy. He's just really good. Play Maestroke. Just gets over everything, and it's a very defensive play. And it's very relevant against Ojamas because he has got 23 defense. Play Abyss Dweller because it's good against the water matchup. It's good against like there's a lot of random decks that have graveyard effects, so it just stops that. And it's good against dragons when they have their graveyard filled and they don't have a whole lot of hand advantage. And then Gemini Pearl because it gets around, it gets over Ophion when you're reading that they have a like a breakthrough or effect failure, so that's good. And then Crazy Box because one time I was dueling my brother and I was losing really hard, and so I decided to do the bad play and make a Crazy Box, and I activated its effect and I rolled a 2 and I drew a card and it won me the game. So I totally sacked with Crazy Box. And then side deck is, I'll go through it real quickly. DD Warrior Lady, it gets over a lot of stuff like Obelisk, it like doesn't target, which is really important, and then like it gets over Consecrated Light and random stuff like that. The third MST for like a Fire Fist, anything random, any like Mirror Match, Spellbooks, things like that. Deck Lockdown, I had Debunks in the side before, and like I swapped them out for deck lockdowns because I had a tough time with Prophecies, and this also helps in the Dragon matchup. And then 2 Mirror Force. I main the Tarantulas inside the Mirror Force because Mirror Force is really good against decks like Mermail, Fire Fist, things like that just get in there for damage. This just really punishes those kinds of decks. As opposed to Tarantula, which is all around good. And then 3 Eradicators, obviously for Prophecy and random decks like that. And then 3 Iron Walls because it really hurts dragons. Like it's hard for them to get around this and Ophion, so it's really good. And then 2 Emptiness because it's good to shut off special summons. It's like oppression, basically. That's the deck. I'm doing really well with it. I think all the bad matchups that people say this deck has, I've basically beat like everyone. And so it's a fairly good deck, I think, in my opinion.
What is the worst matchup?
The worst matchup, honestly, I had a tough time. Well, I didn't really have a tough time with Ojamas, but that game was nerve-wracking. I had a tough time with battling Boxers because I can't like destroy their stuff, so I had to Bahamut it. So, but basically, like all your XYZs let you play around anything that they might put out, and which is good. And so,
Alright.